Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar Hub, your go-to destination for trusted updates on Iraq's economic direction, dinar progress, and global currency trends that genuinely matter. Today's update could be a game-changer, one that marks a significant milestone in the long-awaited rise of the Iraqi dinar ICD toward international recognition and value restoration. In a development that may be historic, Chase Bank, one of the most prominent financial institutions in the US, is now reportedly accepting the 2500 IQD note. This isn't just a procedural change. It could be a major turning point that redefines how both retail holders and institutional observers evaluate the dinar's future. The 2500 IQD note, introduced during Iraq's post-2003 reconstruction, has often been disregarded as speculative and lacking practical utility. But if a major US bank like Chase is now accepting it, this suggests that financial institutions are reassessing Iraq's monetary potential in a far more serious light than ever before. This acknowledgement indicates that real traction may be building behind Iraq's campaign to normalize and elevate its currency. For years, dinar watchers have looked for confirmation of forward momentum, and this could be it. Veteran DNR analyst Frank26 has also weighed in, offering analysis that reinforces the sense that major reform is actively underway. Frank26 reports that the Central Bank of Iraq is no longer issuing empty statements or surface-level reforms. Instead, there are signs of real institutional changes that could dramatically shift the IQD's future. One such sign is the recent reported introduction of a 500 IQD note. To the untrained eye, this might appear insignificant. But to those familiar with currency reform, smaller denominations are often an early signal of a broader monetary transition, such as redenomination or revaluation. It's also a strong indication of Iraq's intent to move away from heavy reliance on the US dollar in daily economic life. This development may be the beginning of a larger structural transformation, suggesting that the central bank is laying the groundwork for more fundamental reform. According to Frank26, these moves are calculated, policy-driven, and shaped by both national goals and international guidance. It's becoming clear that Iraq may be stepping into a new era of economic reawakening. The scope of these changes extends far beyond banking policies there, tied to Iraq's global identity. Historically, Iraq's economy has leaned heavily on the US dollar due to sanctions, conflict, and global market constraints. That era may be closing. Increasing chatter indicates that Iraq could soon use the dinar for cross-border trade. This bold move would redefine Iraq's global role and mark a reclaiming of its monetary sovereignty. If successful, it would signal Iraq's commitment to long-term financial independence and regional influence. Such a shift would likely boost investor confidence across the board. Using IQD in international transactions, especially in key sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and even digital technology, would increase demand for the dinar and contribute to economic stabilization. This pivot also underscores Iraq's broader strategy of diversifying its economy and reducing its dependence on oil exports. The ultimate goal is for the dinar to serve not just as domestic currency, but as a respected medium of exchange in the global market. That's what makes Chase Bank's move so consequential. In the world of finance, deception drives value. When a major bank like Chase acknowledges a currency previously viewed as speculative, it sends a powerful message. It signals that Iraq's currency is gaining legitimacy in the eyes of the global banking system and financial investors alike. Whether this acceptance is limited or the beginning of a wider rollout, the impact is real. It suggests that financial institutions are warming to the idea of Iraq as a credible and potentially lucrative player. For many long-time investors, this is the kind of validation they've waited years to see. It also sets a precedent for other financial players to follow. More institutions may begin to evaluate the dinar not as a high-risk outlier, but as an emerging currency with increasing relevance and stability. This isn't just about currencies. About Iraq's place in the modern financial system. For serious investors, analysts, and economic observers, this moment could mark a key inflection point. History shows that when major financial institutions start engaging with undervalued currencies, it often precedes major revaluations or economic restructuring. The Central Bank of Iraq has already introduced auction reforms aimed at stabilizing the dinar, curbing corruption, and cracking down on illicit trade. The rollout of smaller notes like the 500 IQD is part of this broader effort to normalize pricing and promote wider circulation. All signs point to one conclusion. Iraq is executing a deliberate, well-planned campaign to increase the value and utility of its currency. Global financial players are starting to notice, and that could open the door to wider institutional interest and foreign investment. As these developments unfold, it becomes harder to deny that change is underway. The 2500 IQD note, once dismissed as a relic of a broken system, is now emerging as a credible financial tool. If Chase Bank's reported acceptance is accurate, it marks a serious milestone in Iraq's currency journey. This isn't just about validating one note. It's a broader endorsement of Iraq's economic revival and monetary reform, and with trusted insiders like Frank26 confirming that international trade using the IQD is ramping up, confidence in the currency continues to grow. The introduction of the 500 IQD note is another piece of the puzzle, signaling that the central bank is targeting inflation control, increased domestic use, and long-term monetary health. These are essential steps for building a more resilient financial ecosystem. If Iraq maintains this course, expanding its export base, asserting fiscal control, and pushing for international use of the dinar, then the currency's transformation may be closer than many once believed. The narrative of the dinar as just speculation is being rewritten. While Iraq works to stabilize its currency, it's also implementing broader economic reforms that could reshape its entire financial identity. For decades, Iraq's budget has been largely propped up by oil revenue, but that model is now shifting toward greater sustainability. Iraq is ramping up investments in infrastructure, digital transformation, and non-oil sectors like agriculture and industrial production. The government is also deepening its cooperation with global organizations like the IMF and World Bank to help shape reform policies. These alliances are providing not just financial support, but also technical expertise. Iraq's economic roadmap now includes improved transparency, better regulation, and fiscal reforms, all key pillars of long-term success in today's competitive global landscape. Meanwhile, the central bank is exercising stricter oversight of currency auctions. This has helped reduce illicit activity and build greater trust in the currency system. These steps are stabilizing the financial environment and supporting long-term value for the dinar. Together, these reforms are pushing Iraq out of crisis mode and into regional competitiveness. These changes won't happen overnight, but every reform brings Iraq one step closer to full integration into the global economy and foreign exchange markets. As Iraq's momentum builds, savvy investors should watch for concrete signals that may mark the official turning point. Chief among these will be any announcements about changes in the official exchange rate, a key sign of imminent revaluation or restructuring. The rollout of lower denomination notes like the 500 IQD is another critical indicator. These notes show a focus on internal pricing stability and broader public use, which often precedes deeper monetary policy adjustments or a change in value metrics. Equally important is Iraq's increasing ability to connect to global forex systems, which improves liquidity and foreign demand. These integrations make it easier for Iraq to position the dinar as a credible, widely traded currency in regional and international markets. Additionally, any confirmed use of IQD in cross-border trade agreements would be a major step forward. That kind of shift represents more than a policy change. It's a national milestone toward full monetary sovereignty and economic restoration. These moves aren't just financial technicalities, they're markers of a broader rebalancing of power and opportunity. For investors and analysts, paying attention to these signs is essential to grasping the full scope of Iraq's economic revival. It's also useful to consider regional comparisons to understand Iraq's path. Vietnam, for example, is quietly undergoing a similar transition, with its own undervalued currency and export-driven recovery strategy. Like Iraq, Vietnam has faced international skepticism and economic hurdles. But through export growth, foreign investment, and financial reform, it's steadily becoming a powerhouse. Today, the Vietnamese dong is gaining recognition as a potential long-term play. The Vietnamese government's efforts to modernize its banking system and open markets have positioned the dong as a hidden gem. This rising momentum is attracting global investors looking for the next breakout emerging market currency. The dinar and dong may not be linked directly, but their shared storylines, economic reform, undervaluation, and increasing global interest make them both currencies to watch. Their evolution may offer broader lessons for future investment strategies. By tracking these parallels, investors can gain insight into how emerging markets rise through reform and integration. The dinar's path is unique, but it echoes a growing trend of transformation in overlooked currencies around the world. With these changes in motion, what steps should investors take today? First, they must stay informed and realistic. While Chase Bank's reported acceptance of the 2500 IQD note could be historic, official confirmation is essential. Responsible investing starts with verified facts. There's been no shortage of misinformation in the dinar space. That's why it's critical to verify claims through banks, government agencies, or reputable news sources. Avoid the hype and focus on confirmed, credible information. Diversification also remains vital. Whether you're holding IQD, VND, or any emerging market currency, your portfolio should be balanced, risk-aware, and grounded in long-term strategy. This isn't about chasing rumors, it's about smart positioning. Real change takes time, but when it arrives, it rewards those who planned early. Stay engaged with serious analyst communities and watch for updates from central banks and global regulators. To stay ahead of the curve. Ultimately, success in currency investment requires proactive decision-making. Those who monitor policy shifts, reform metrics, and geopolitical trends will be best positioned to benefit from the dinar's potential resurgence. The IQD has long carried the weight of controversy, speculation, and disappointment, but those perceptions may now be shifting rapidly. With new developments from Chase Bank, credible analyst support, and national policy changes, the tide may finally be turning. If Iraq stays the course, expanding trade, reforming institutions, and modernizing its economy, the dinar may soon symbolize something far greater than financial speculation. It could become a beacon of renewal and national strength. This goes beyond currency. It's about restoring Iraq's place in the global economy. Investors must weigh all available data and avoid surface-level headlines. The full picture matters most in times of major transition, and right now, the signals are aligning. Data is mounting, and for those paying attention, opportunity is taking shape. What once seemed like a distant possibility may be happening right in front of us. The reawakening of the Iraqi dinar is no longer just theory. Thank you for staying connected with Iraqi Dinar Hub, your source for trusted updates, deep dive analysis, and the financial signals that actually matter. We're here to cut through the noise and bring clarity to a space long dominated by uncertainty. Whether you're new to this journey or have held dinar for years, your insight and attention make a difference. Like, subscribe, and share this with others who are following the story. We'll keep bringing you the latest as history continues to unfold. Disclaimer: the content provided by Iraqi Dinar Hub is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, or legal advice. All viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The views and opinions expressed in this video are based on publicly available information and credible sources, but we cannot guarantee the accuracy or completeness of any claims made. Investing in foreign currencies, including the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong, involves risk and should be approached with caution.